Fort Devens out to Colorado Springs?
Well, that move was completed in 1994.
Okay.
While I was at at that point, I was already at the schoolhouse at Fort Bragg. I was doing the Morse code thing when they finished that movement, and then I went to OCS out of the schoolhouse. So.
Oh, no kidding.
Now wait a minute. If I would have known you knew Morse code, that's how we'd have done this interview.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, SOS. Yeah, SOS. For sure. Yeah. So let me ask you a question. So after you left the schoolhouse, and then I'm assuming you went back to 10th group, did you get to partake in the Manitou Incline when you were out there?
Actually, I did not. I did when I went back to group after I was lieutenant time in the Signal Corps. I went from Fort Bragg to OCS to Germany and paid my penance as a lieutenant in the Signal Corps.
Gotcha.
For a couple years. Before then, I went back to group at Carson.
So when I first got out there, they were like, "Hey, sir, you need to go walk the incline," and I was like, "What is that?" They were like, "Oh, it's this little hill over at Manitou Springs," and I was like, "Man, that sounds like a great training opportunity there." You ever like make sure you put a lot of weight in your ruck, and so I went over, and you can Google this, the Manitou Incline, it's in Manitou Springs. So it's an old cog railway bed that starts at 6,500 feet of elevation gain, and it goes up 1 mile exactly. And the top of it is 8,500 feet of elevation gain, so it's 2,000 feet of gain in 1 mile.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, it's like 30-degree incline, right? You're stepping up railroad ties. It's horrifying.
That must have been the thing Paul was supposed to be getting.
Yes, I tried to get Paul to do that when they went to Colorado Springs, but I was denied the pleasantries of knowing that
It sounds like a great Take That Hill event.
It is an incredible Take That Hill event.
You should just fly us all out there for next year.
Yeah, to see how many.
Walk up the incline.
Yeah.
Your quads and calves really appreciate it.
It is. So when I was out there and I did it, I made it up a quarter mile before my blood oxygen level from North Carolina, because they did like the second day I was there. No acclimatizing at all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so I made it up about a quarter mile. My heart rate was like 180. I was breathing so hard, and there's this old man coming down. He was like 75 years old, coming down like a mountain goat, and he had a parakeet on his shoulder named Bobby, right? A parakeet named Bobby. And he was like, "You okay, young fella?"
You got beat by an old pirate?
Oh, he beat me, an old pirate with a parakeet. Not a parrot, a parakeet, a little guy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He was like 6 inches tall. It's pretty fantastic. So, anyhow, so 10th group, and then you went up north, up to D.C. and finished out your career there. And so 2006 was when you retired. What rank did you retire at?
I was, Captain Promotable. I made the list for 04, and that next week I dropped my packet. I was done.
Yeah,
So he is my favorite kind of officer.
He was enlisted first.
He's a Mustang. That's why he's a great man, because he knows what it's about to be the grunt.
That's right.
Yeah,
He does.
Yeah, being enlisted certainly gives you a whole different perspective of leading.
It does, absolutely. Yeah, you get it from both angles for sure.
So, Dave, tell us, when did you go to OCS? How long had you been in service?
196. Class 196, Fort Benning.
Okay.
Yeah. So you were at that time E7, is that right?
I was in E7. But with 2 years time of grade already.
Man, that's kind of a rarity. Yeah, there's not many E7s that are allowed to go to OCS. So that you did something pretty remarkable there. So that's fantastic. So we got about a minute before we're coming up to break. But when we come back, we want to talk a little bit about transition for you, what that looked like, how you got involved with the SFA up there, and what you guys are doing to help veterans. And so we'll do that when we come back. Also, when we come back, we're going to have the French Bulldog himself talking about the project of the week. And he didn't even hear me. So, so anyhow, well, the project of the week, we'll talk a little bit about that, and then we'll talk a little bit about coming up events that we've got coming up here in the next week or two, and those are all really big really big pushes for us here at Purple Heart Homes that folks can get involved with around. You got anything else to add, John?
Yeah, we're going to talk about an event that Special Forces Association Chapter 90's got coming up. They got their annual golf event coming up, and I want to talk a little bit about that and some of the great, cool things that David and his team have in line for that, and some of the other organizations they support and the work that they're doing and the needs that they see in and all around Virginia.
That's outstanding. That's outstanding.
Absolutely. So be sure to stand by, tune back in. We're going to hear a word from our sponsors. We'll be right back.
There's more Putting the Pieces Back Together with John Gallina and Brad Borders on the way.
Had old Johnny Quest asking me questions over here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What's he asking?
He was asking if our friend Jason Keating was going to have his movie at the Full Bloom Film Festival.
No, it just got submitted to Sundance.
Sundance.
Did it
That's
really?
right. Yes,
Yeah,
it
so
did.
it's officially been submitted to Sundance.
Damn.
David, we have a couple of vets here in the community that have had or are making documentaries, and one of them is a Marine that just moved into the area. He has a film that he produced that they used Purple Heart Homes warehouse for some of the filming, and we support it in a few different ways. And his film has just been submitted through the film festival at Sundance. And then we got another for those of our listeners. Also, don't forget to buy your tickets for the premiere of Where I Belong, Rocky Lynn's film, his documentary that will be
is true.
debuting tomorrow here in Statesville.
Tomorrow
pretty
and
exciting.
Saturday, and you can go to you can just Google search Full Bloom Festival Statesville, find out more about that. But he's also doing a free concert tomorrow night at the old jail.
Oh, I didn't know
in
that.
Statesville, 7:30 tomorrow night.
Must be doing that for the Arts Council.
He is,
That
and
is
I was
cool.
I was talking to Tammy. I said, Tammy, I'd really like, Rocky and I grew up together, and I said, really like to go to that. And she was like, you are going to go out of the house after 7 p.m. Why don't we just evaluate that tomorrow?
I think I said we can go, but you'll
That-
change your mind before the time.
And I'll be
would
like,
be
I don't
impressive.
know, I don't
Yeah.
want to go. I do have a 75-mile bike race on Saturday.
Oh, wow.
The Mooresville Fondo is going on. It's the first annual, so it's their big event in
What is a
Mooresville.
fondo?
A Fondo is a fancy way of saying bike ride.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, and so there's a 25, 50, and 75-mile routes starting in downtown Mooresville. Going to be escorted out of town by cops on motorcycles,
All
which would be
right.
pretty cool. And my buddy Rambo told me yesterday, he said, when the gun goes off, I'm going full gas for 75 miles, so get on my wheel.
Sarah.
I'm not sure if I'm going to finish with him.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe you can draft off.
Have you seen him?
No.
Have you ever met
I
Rambo?
don't think I've ever actually met
Rambo is built like a fire hydrant. He's 5'9", 207 pounds, and
4'7" wide.
he is wide. He is wide.
He's a beast.
He is a beast.
He's been on the show.
No,
No,
Rambo,
no, not Rambo. That
Rambo
was,
hasn't been on the show. We got to have Rambo because he's an Army veteran. We got to have him on.
Who's the vet we had from Fayetteville? SF guy we had.
Chewy?
Chewy. Yeah, I had Chewy on.
Chewy's a
this-
beast too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chewy's getting ready to take
Nick
over.
Lavery.
And we have
And we
Nick
had
Lavery.
Nick Lavery.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a beast.
Yeah.
He's a beast.
Chewy's getting ready to be the sergeant major over SFAS.
Hey, you want me to tell you something really cool? Gursky trained when he was an instructor, Sorois.
Darren.
Darren Sorois.
No kidding.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Darren was one of my football students right out of the battalion. And that boy, he was brilliant. He helped me set up antennas inside the classroom, hanging them from the sprinkler system, so we could show the other students what it looked like to do a tactical antennas.
That's cool.
From the sprinkler system?
He's pretty sharp.
Yeah.
Very sharp. He's an excellent CTO. Young buck sergeant.
Think about that. So so Darren retired as a
E9.
E9.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really
David
cool.
was his coach.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
yeah. Very small world.
Oh, the Army's a small place.
Yeah, but I don't think Darren had but like 21 or 22 years in.
Is that all?
Yeah, yeah,
Just,
a
2
bit.
decades of your
Yeah.
life. Yeah.
Just a
yeah.
bit.
What are you coming up on there, chap?
I'm at 19 years and 7 months right now.
Wow.
And how many days?
7
WSIC.
All right, welcome back to Putting the Pieces Back Together. I'm going to tell you, this is going to go down as the show,
show of shows.
show of shows. Yes, it is.
Joe
We're
is
never going
sweating.
to. Not only is he sweating, he shows up like Kramer off of Seinfeld. The door opens and he appears, and he's like, "Go,
Yeah.
go." So, hey, look, we got.
It's all about levels, Jerry. It's all about levels.
Oh my gosh.
It is. It is. Before we go back to Devil Dog Devin and hear about the project week, I want to go back. I want to turn back to our guest, and so I've wanted to have David Gursky on the show for years now. We've coming up on 2 years, and I've been hounding David to get him on the show, and we finally get him on the show. And we're having this technical difficulty and some of these challenges, and but I'm really excited. I want to hear some of his stories. Like I said, I got some kind of hard questions. And so knowing how he works his fundraisers and how he supports all these charities and does this work, I'm curious, David, what led you and inspired you and encouraged you to get involved and to do the work that you're doing?
Well, in the fun story of it all is that in the SF Association, we just started in 06, 07, or 05, 06, and we were wondering how could we generate funds for people? What can we do to help? And it's back in the time when the Donald Trump's TV show was on, The Apprentice. And they had that show where they had to do a golf ball tournament or a golf tournament. And I said to myself, that's the worst thing in the whole wide world anybody could ever ask me to do is to conduct a golf tournament. I hate golf. I hate golf people. There's nothing that I want to do with golf.
Sounds just like me, doesn't it? Now you see why we get along so well.
I hate golf. I hate golf people.
Awesome.
And then one of the chapter members says, we should have a golf tournament. And then I just thought, the thing you're most afraid of, that's where you run to. There's the goal, right? I was afraid of it, so I ran to it because you run to the gun. That's where success is going to be. So that's what we did. And right off the bat, we were crushing it. And for us, anyway, we went from making no money to making $20,000, $30,000 at our fundraiser.
Wow.
And it went to great. We just kept enough to stay to pay for our supplies. It was pretty neat. And then we thought, well, how do we make it more interesting? This is where Dale gets involved. So I go to gun shows and for raffles and things, and I hit up vendors to donate firearms so we can raffle them off at the golf ball tournament or at the golf tournament. So one of the fellas told me, he says, I'm not going to give up my guns because I'm a small business. I don't have this capability to just give away guns. I said, well, that's fine. If you have anybody that might be interested in working with us on this, we would love to talk to them. And he gave me a card with Dale's information on it, and I reached out to him, and he was, how very gregarious, thrilled he was to just do anything. And he says, hey, I got this M1 Garand that I won the Camp Perry Nationals with. And I said, well, heck, we'll take it. And would you come on up? And he brought the gun to us. We did an on-site auction in the SF chapter meeting, and would you know, some dude gave us $3,000 for this thing, so right into the pot, right, for the event. And the next day we had the golf event, and we crushed it. Well, that was pretty fun. Dale had a blast up there. It was neat. It was new and exciting. We had someone that actually donated an American icon of a weapon, and it just was very successful. Well, fast forward, the next year, the guy brought it back because he couldn't use it in downtown D.C., because they gun laws. They were concerned about having it posted. So he gave it back to the chapter, and boom, we silent auction that thing off $5,000.
No kidding. I'll be darned. How about that?
It was amazing.
$8,000 raffle
And
right
I know
there.
the guy that has it now, Great American, a Marine, a crayon-eating Marine. His company, what a good man. 2 warrant officers ran that company, retired Marines. It's amazing. But that's how we start off. And that year, that's when we were able to really make an impact for Dale.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had he helped us create. He built the ladder that he climbed. It was amazing.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah, certainly miss him, and thankful for him making an introduction and taking me up there. I'll never forget buying some raffle tickets. I handed them to Dale, and decided to go across the street to the ATM machine to get some more cash so I could buy a few more raffle tickets. I come back, he's holding a 1911 45, and I was like, man, you won that? He's like, no, it's the ticket that you handed me. I was like, oh, great. I was like, well, give me my gun. And he's like, oh, no. He said, I'll sell it to you. I was like, what? He's like, well, you gave me the tickets. I was like, to hold so I could go get more money to buy more tickets.
Did you ever get the gun back?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you did.
Oh, yeah.
Did you just steal it when he wasn't looking?
No, $500 later.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, we traded it back and forth a few times.
Yeah,
So anyhow, so tell us, what is something that you're looking forward to, and something coming out of your next fundraiser?
All right, well, right now we have 2 fundraisers. We have our big spring tournament in the first or second week of May, Friday, and then that's the one we go all out. We get sponsors, we get people to sponsor tee boxes, and I go out and hustle for raffle prizes. And that's a huge success. It sells out right away, and in fact, it sells out for players in the first month. But I'm always hustling sponsors to the last minute. Well, in the fall, we do one. It's a little bit less. It's less of a big deal. This is the one where we invite really people to come. These people that were sponsors in the spring, we just want them to come golf with us, right? We're not hitting them up hard. We have other people that have sponsors in the spring. They're sponsors, but we won't hit those guys up. And then we just try to create an opportunity to give back to others, to keep ourselves in business. We have our chapter to begin with. It's the Ferguson chapter. And, yeah, I already talked about that. But we miss Rich. And we have another guy who passed, we raise money for their college funds for the kids.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's pretty successful. Yeah, it's good stuff. And in the spring we're partnered with this group called the Black Horse Forge. Black Horse Forge is a local 501c3 in Stafford area, where it's like a forged in fire. So they take vets and first responders and they teach them the ways of the forge. They're building knives, building swords, blacksmithing.
No, that's awesome.
Gives them an outlet.
That's really cool.
So
Yeah.
we're partnering with them. We were able to give them, I think, $12,000.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, we actually had at Camp Brown in Afghanistan. We had a forge over there for our group guys that they could come and build knives on their downtime.
Wow.
It was a really big deal. Yeah,
No kidding.
yeah,
No
it was
kidding.
really, yeah, it was a really big deal.
So we got just a couple minutes here. In fact, we're exactly 2 minutes till break. Devin, can you give us our project of the week real quick?
Yeah, we'll make it a quick one. So we went all the way to Indiana with this one, and Tammy Burchett, not Tammy,
Tammy, a project,
not Tammy
made Miss
Borders.
Giggles a project
Lost my
manager.
job
also.
already.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Man.
Team was full. But we had this veteran up there. He couldn't decide if he wanted to be in the Army and Navy, so he switched branches and spent some time over in the sandbox, as I like to say. And well, he he comes back home and he's dealing with a lot of PTSD issues and some other pains and back and things and well, it's pretty hard to get up on a roof with back pain. I don't know if you know that. So
I do.
Purple Heart Homes, he applied to us, and thankfully with our partners with Home Depot, we were able to come through and get this fella a brand new roof. And so he sent us a picture the other day, just smiling, beaming because he was so happy.
Where's he at?
Out there in Indiana.
Out there.
There in Indiana.
Yeah, you've said out there before. So
Yeah, well,
that's awesome.
out there, it's kind
Out
of
there. I think I asked him if he was out there in Connecticut, right?
Hey,
Awesome.
you're listen to pieces back together.
You're looking at putting the pieces back together.
We're looking at it. We'll be back.
Oh, it's so great.
Wouldn't it be the greatest year?
It's awesome.
I thought last week was great. But
We're looking at putting the pieces back together. We're looking at it.
I heard the music. I was like, "Oh crap, we're going in."
amazing.
You guys are back, by the way. You're good.
Oh man.
Sorry for the mess. Remember last week the Zoom audio wasn't working, so we were trying a new system today, and he put that new system on the wrong computer,
Oh no. Oh no.
which isn't tied into the studio at all.
Oh.
So he tried to quickly put it on the correct computer, and the whole thing it all went
Crash the
awry.
system. You know, I
I don't
always.
have my secondary screen anymore, so I'm playing your time off of this computer instead of from an.
Still live.
We're still.
All right.
I
Great.
apologize.
Hey, no
No
worries.
worries.
It's fun.
Makes it
Somehow
fun.
the power went out in there, and you guys stayed live on stream. I don't know how.
Wow.
But
Well, let me just say, when you can be calm under stress, it says something about
You're
your
doing a great
character.
job.
Yeah, that's
You're doing
great.
great.
You're doing an amazing job. Oh my gosh.
We're in here cracking, saying looking instead of listening, and
I lost my job.
firing Tammy.
Yeah. Speaking of looking, I got a picture I mean to post up on our website. I met a veteran out there in Henderson County. I went to home for the Apple Festival. You know what the Apple Festival
Oh yeah,
is? Yeah.
The Apple Festival used to be in Statesville.
There was an Apple Festival.
It was the Apple Festival.
The Apple Festival. I
Yeah.
don't know about that. I think my relatives up there in Henderson County would argue about that one. But anyway,
I think their apples up there were liquefied and clear.
oh
and
my! Yeah, there was a little bit.
we
of that
actually
going on,
had
too.
red delicious apples that you could buy and candy apples that you could buy. You didn't and fried apple pies. Yeah, you didn't drink the apples like you did in Hendersonville. Just saying.
Well, hey, that's how my family made its money,
Got to make a living.
and then they squandered it. But anyways, but I don't know if I've ever told you this, but my grandfather's the only man I ever heard of that was arrested by both his father and his son. So.
That's outstanding.
But while I was up there, I came upon this little tent that was out there. Korean war vet was out there. His name was Charles Holden, and he not only served in Korea but in Vietnam as well. And I passed on one of our coins, and his caretaker texted me and just told me that meant the world to him. So hey, just say hi to a veteran if you see him out there, and tell them thank you for their service.
Yeah, absolutely.
Collaborate with our experts.
10 seconds.
Your local one-stop landscape shop.
Putting the pieces back together continues now. Here are your hosts, John Gallina and Brad Borders on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Welcome back to Putting the Pieces. Yeah, welcome back to Putting the Pieces Back Together, or as Devin calls it, looking to put the pieces back together.
That's the new show, the French Bulldog. We got name changes of people and the show.
When we leave today, I'm going to say I need my pieces put back together.
Well, we are looking to put the pieces back together here, so that was fantastic.
Who put Humpty John back together?
All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put it back together again.
Oh man.
So we are joined today by a special guest, David Gursky, veteran, lives in Virginia, and has been supporting Purple Heart Homes for a number of years, and supports a number of other charities. And just hearing some of David's story and just knowing him for a number of years, I'm just honored to have him on the show today, and be able to call him friend, just a great American. And, as we're talking a little bit about some of the work that you've done, David, and understanding how you support charity, what led you to support charity, talking a little bit about Dale and meeting him and raising funds. Can you tell us something that was meaningful through the years and the reward that you've seen in helping other charities, whether it was through the Green Beret Foundation or Purple Heart Homes or any other charity that you guys support, Fisher House? Would you share something with us?
Sure. I believe that we all should be helping each other. None of us are competing, because we're out to help people who got nothing, So we're not competing. We're helping other people grow, and the Lord will spread it out. He'll make sure everybody gets what they need, but we're the hands. We got to get out there and just ask anybody. I'm not ashamed to ask to help somebody else. See, that's the challenge. A lot of people are afraid to ask because they were taught don't ask for anything. Well, you're not asking for yourself. We're asking for our brothers. And we can't do it for them. We got to get out there and hit up everyone. I will speak to anyone that I believe can help me help brother, because the government can't do it. And quite frankly, it's not the government's job. We're supposed to be helping each other. And you do that individually or in the local church or organizationally with these 501c. And if you get them teaming together, there's enough to go around. And so it's a matter of convincing them that they have a solution that for somebody's problem is not their own. And hey, I might have their solution myself. So everybody wants to help, and it's our job, if we care, or if we're gifted with it. I mean, give the gift of God with it, whatever. Is to show them how they can help with the resources they have. We're giving them the opportunity to help that they wouldn't speak themselves. But everybody wants to help. Nobody says, I don't want to help the world. Nobody says that. Everybody has delusions of grandeur. They wish they could help with if only X. Well, if only someone gave me the opportunity to get things to the direction it needs to go. Well, hey, I'll find a way to create the opportunity. You build houses. Somebody else, they like to take care of medical needs. Someone else has ways to teach people that maybe have or knows how to get people to donate food, right? Things like that. It's our job to give them an outlet for their resource that works. Some of it just feel good, but there's also financial benefits to them too, tax-wise and all that other stuff. So it's our job to show them the advantage of helping with whatever X is. And if X is a veteran situation, I'm on board. I'm done. I'm sold. You don't have to convince me to help a brother or sister, for that matter, or whatever you have in between at this point. We're military. If you serve in your country, that's it. A check you wrote.
For sure. Yeah, and I think I love what you're saying, and it reminds me of the different attitudes that folks have. Some folks have a scarcity mindset where there's not enough resources to go around, and I need to hold on to what I've got. And then some people have an abundance mindset that where they go, there's an abundant supply, right? And if you're in an abundance mindset, it's okay to give, right? Because there's going to be more resources coming into you and your family if you look at life from an abundance mindset. And I think that's where God calls us to live, right? That in this abundance mindset, because as we shovel out the things that help other people, God's shovel is way bigger than ours. Like our shovel's little, but his shovel's big, and we're shoveling out and he's shoveling in. And when we have the opportunity to give, it's a threefold benefit. It benefits the person that we're giving to. It benefits our community because it reduces the need for the community to come alongside that person. And then the benefit is for us, just when we give, whether it's our time, our talent, or resources, it gives us a sense of purpose and meaning and mission in life when we give back. And David, I appreciate the time that you give, right, to going out and hustling for others, and I appreciate your mindset of appreciating the fact that, and it's one of the things that we say a lot of times, it doesn't, and Dale used to say this, Doesn't matter where you served or when you served. It just matters that you served. And hopefully we continue to adopt that attitude on a daily basis with the people that we serve at Purple Heart Homes.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. David, how about we all need that little bit of motivation and, kind of that inspiration. What's a funny story that you recall from your time in service or something that motivates you?
What motivates me is selfless service by others inspires others to selflessly serve, right? Mm-hmm. So when you see that, it's thrilling, especially when you see like my little sergeant major center, one of the sergeant major Craig Wilson. He was old and broke. He was asked to be sergeant major. He went out there and he shoveled snow while people didn't see Jesus. These two broke that get out there and do much. He shoveled snow. I loved it. It made me, so there I was, Captain Thirsty, shoveling snow out there with him sometimes, just because. And it was kind of, and people look at you. If you're an O shoveling snow, people look at you. And like, why not? Sergeant Major's doing it, right? It's not the private's job. It's the colonel's job, really, when you think about it. It's the sergeant major's job. It's just to be, but if it's not natural, people see right through that, too, but the sergeant major, Wilson would do that. He was awesome. So selfless service in others really inspires me up because I look at it just the kind of guy I am. I like, wow, look at what he's doing. He doesn't even know what he's doing. He's creating more than he has, than he would have. And I can take that, what I see in it is, I see where I can spread that around, right? Whatever it is. I find it a way to push it in a different direction. Hey, look what they're doing. How much more could we do if we just organized that effort? And so now I just used Sergeant Major example of, shoveling sidewalks outside the town. But now we got the whole group shoveled by some guys that are having fun doing it. You know what I mean? And just because why not? Because you can. That's why. It's selflessly serving there, and that's just a fun example that I have for that. But I love the opportunity to get other people to be able to contribute, to do their part. Understand, because everybody wants a part too, and that's what they don't tell you. Hey, I want a part. They don't tell you that because they got enough on their plate. So we show them they have a part. Yes, you have a part to play. And guess what? You're creating hope for other people. Was it 22 a day we're losing? No hope?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm jealous of the Fredericksburg community having David living up there.
You and me both.
Yeah,
I'm working on getting him closer. Don't worry. I think I've almost got it whittled down from being 5.5 hours away to being only 2 hours away.
Okay,
we're going to work on that.
Are we moving towards him, or is he?
No, we're not. We're unfortunately moving 35 of you and your families and our 70,000 square foot production facility is probably not an option.
That would be a feat.
But if we can get David 2 hours away, then maybe we can work something out. So I'm going to go see him on Saturday, and we're going to see what we can do.
Oh, that's outstanding. All right.
Very, very exciting. And, hey, I really want him to come down to Take That Hill and see what Take That Hill is all about. What a fantastic event. We got about 2.5 minutes left before we end the show. Tell us about our special guests that are going to be at Take That Hill, when the event is, and what it's all about.
Yeah, so it's coming up October the 7th. You can go to our website at phhusa.org and look at the events tab. But it's a 4th annual Take That Hills held at Southern Distilling Company. It's a cycling / workout event, but we have sort of grown it into a menagerie of different things now. And we have people traveling from as far away as Alaska and Wisconsin to come ride in this thing. There's 3 different routes you can ride. There's an online, a virtual thing you can ride on, but then we have a workout of the day led by local legend Joe Baker. But the special part about this is 2 things. We have Woody and Wilcox. So our friends from 106.5 The End and iHeartRadio, they're coming up to be the MCs for our awards banquet, or awards ceremony, if you will. And then we have 2 Medal of Honor recipients that earned those awards in Vietnam for their service there. Joe Marm and Bob Patterson are going to be in town both Friday and Saturday. There'll be an opportunity to meet and greet with both those gentlemen. You can get your picture made with a bona fide American hero It's not every day you get a chance to meet a living Medal of Honor recipient.
Only
There's
65 living.
there's
Well,
only
66 now. There was
Yeah.
a new Medal of Honor recipient.
a helicopter pilot.
Yep, from
Yeah.
Vietnam.
Yeah, just
yep, received
yesterday.
his medal
Yeah.
yesterday. Yep.
So, man, it's going to be a really, really great event. So, again, you can go to our website, phhusa.org, find out more about it. Support what we do by getting involved with the events that we put on. We're really grateful.
David, I just again want to take the opportunity to thank you for your service. Thanks for agreeing to be on the show today. You are a great American. You, sir, inspire me day to day, and I look forward to seeing you this weekend. And you have been listening to, again, Putting the Pieces Back Together, presented by
Look at
Purple Heart
Putting the
Homes.
Pieces
Look
Back
at
Together.
it. Look at it. Look at it, Devin. Take us away, Devin. Wrap us
Have a
up.
great weekend.
The new 1059.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
Look at it.
Say your goodbyes.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
David, thank you, brother.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
David, can you still hear us?